I hope you're really well. So in today's class, we're going to be focusing on release through the shoulders and the hips. I'll also be talking a little about, I'm working energetically on the second chakra, the Manipura chakra. So it's a place of creation, it's a place of joy, it's a really beautiful place to tap into. And in the Western world, certainly we don't do enough of that. So with that in mind, let's come to lie on our backs. And just have the soles of the feet flat on the mat. And you can have the feet out match width apart. Knees knocking in, or you can have the soles of the feet together, knees out wide. Explore both options and see what works for your hips, or you can just have them in line with the hips, knees straight up. And place both hands on the belly. Have the heels of the hands on those bony parts of the hips, fingers pointing inwards. You can close the eyes. Let's take a moment to notice the connection of your body with the ground. Notice how your body feels. Are there tight places you're holding on to things? Maybe it's sleepy, maybe it's cold, maybe it's hot. Just noticing it all. And then start to notice your breath. Where do you feel the breath as you breathe? It's in the nose, the throat, the chest, or maybe you don't notice it at all. Without force, start to deepen the breath. Inhaling, belly swells, ribs widen, chest fills. Pausing. Exhaling with a sigh. Inhaling, belly swells, ribs widen, chest fills. Pausing. Again, you can exhale with a sigh, just releasing, letting go of the stories, the thoughts. You're here right now. It's your 3-part breathing, inhaling, filling belly, ribs, chest. Pausing. Exhaling, chest, ribs, belly. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Pause, chest, ribs, belly. Now, just return to a normal breath pattern, but keep the breath slow and deep. Let the breath be the guide for your practice. Often when we go too far in a pose, or often in a twist as well, we tend to hold our breath. Let's return to it. With both hands on the belly, really breathing into them. So you're breathing into your hands. Set an intention for the practice. This can be a word or a short phrase. I am, I can, I choose. Breathing that into the bowels, the pelvis. And then if your knees are out wide, carefully drawing them back in with your hands. And if your knees are out mat width, bringing them to hip width now, straight up. And then start to draw the knees into the chest. And following your breath pattern, on the inhale, draw the knees in. And then guiding with the hands out to the sides, down and around. Inhaling, drawing them in. Exhaling out to the sides, back down and around. Again, drawing them in to the sides, back out, down and around. And then going the other way. And keep the feet heavy and really notice how the thigh bone feels in the hip socket. And notice how that movement feels. Coming to stillness. Cross the right knee over the left. So we're crossing the knee, not the ankle. Then place both hands on the knees. Staying here. You can then start to walk the hands further down the shins towards the ankles. Maybe the feet flare out. So the right hand is holding the left ankle and the left hand the right ankle. It's breathing into the opening through the back of the thigh, top of the hip, bottom of the hip, I should say. Breath is slow, breath is deep. And then releasing the where you were holding the leg, let the knees tip over to the left. You can extend the arms out wide or cactus them. And you can gaze over at the right hand, maybe placing the left hand on top of the right thigh. Shoulders are heavy. On your next breath, draw your knees back to center and then cross the other way. So left knee over right. Then place the hands on the knees. And then you can start to walk them down the shins towards the ankles. And as you're doing this, try not to pull into the neck or the shoulders. We want them to be heavy, not reaching up here for it. That opening through the back of the hip, bottom of the hip, top of the leg. Just notice where you feel it. It may feel different on one side to the other. And then releasing the legs, let the knees tip over to the right. And you can extend the arms out wide, gazing over at the left hand. You can place the right hand on top of the left thigh. Breath is slow, breath is deep. It's feeling the release through the whole left side body. Lovely, releasing, coming back through to center. Uncrossing the legs. From here you can start to walk up and down the spine. Coming onto your sit bones. Toes can be touching the mat or shins parallel. And you can release the knees, extending the arms out wide, or as tenting the fingers at the base of the spine. What you want to feel is like, imagine I have to run my finger up your back. So you're really lifting up out of the base of the spine, opening the chest through the shoulders, extending the arms forward. Now lifting, reaching the arms up, rotating to the right, extending the left arm forward, the right arm back. Inhaling, lifting, reaching up. Exhaling, rotating the other way. Again, lifting, reaching up to the right. Lifting, reaching up. Bracing the wobbles to the left. We go for one more each side. Yeah, that's lifting up. One more. And up and breathe. You can do it. One more. Lifting, reaching up. And then crossing over the ankles. Coming to your 4-point base. So hands under shoulders and knees under hips. Inhaling, arching, lifting. We'll do some cat-cows here, bringing a bit more movement in. Exhaling, tucking, rounding. Inhaling, arching, lifting. Exhaling, tucking, rounding. This time hovering the knees, bringing a bit more movement. Arching, lifting. Tucking, rounding. One more, arching, lifting. Tucking, rounding, hovering before straightening up through the legs, stepping into downward facing dog. And you pedal out through the dog here, bending into one knee, followed by the other, using your breath as a guide. And as you do this, start to bring the feet out mat width apart. Just noticing the spaciousness you're creating in the hips, knees are soft. Lifting up through the sit bones. Head is heavy, neck is long, maybe giving it a shake. Lifting up, breathing up. Inhale, we lift right leg. Hips are square, foot is flexed. Placing right foot between the hands, lowering down through the left knee. Hand lifting up through the left arm, reaching up towards the ceiling. And from here you can wrap it around behind, taking hold of the left hip or bending the knee, catching hold of the foot. Breathing into that opening. Releasing, coming back down through, and then stepping the right foot back. On your next breath, lift your left foot up, foot is flexed. On the exhale, stepping left foot between the hands, lower down through right knee. Inhale, sweeping the left arm up, and then reaching around, taking hold of the right hip, or bending the right knee, catching a hold of the foot. Light through the top body, light through the supporting arm. Lovely, framing the front foot, this time stepping the right foot up to meet the left in a forward fold, and then pressing the feet into the mat, slowly rolling up vertebra by vertebra. Head and neck, the last two unfurl. Drawing the shoulders up towards the ears, sliding them down the back, and then we'll exaggerate that movement. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. One more big deep breath, inhaling. Again, the biggest, deepest exhale. Coming to stand at the top of your mat, feet hip width, and bringing the hands to prayer at heart space. Move into some flow. Inhale, lifting, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, lower. Exhaling, stepping back into plank. Lowering down through the knees, body one strong light of energy, elbows to ribs, lowering all the way down, baby cobra, and lower, pushing back through all fours into downward facing dog. Inhale, softening through the knees, lifting up through the sit bones, exhaling. Inhaling, sliding shoulders down the back, exhaling. Here you can soften the knees, gazing forward, stepping right foot, left foot to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, lower. Inhale, sweeping, lifting up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, lower. Stepping back into plank, lowering down through your knees, elbows by ribs before lowering all the way to the ground. Lifting up, baby cobra, and lower. Pushing back through all fours or plank if you're feeling strong into downward facing dog. Inhaling for 2. Exhaling for 2. Inhaling for 1. Exhaling for 1. Soften the knees, gazing forward, stepping left foot followed by right. Halfway lift and lower. Inhale, sweeping, lifting up. Exhaling. We'll go straight back through forward fold. Halfway lift. This time bending the knees, sinking down into the hips, coming into Utkatasana. Now your feet can be hip width or toes touching, whichever version. Think about drawing in the thighs, zipping up through the core. Bringing hands to prayer at heart space, grounding through right foot. Hovering the left foot off the mat. Start to push the foot away as though you're pushing something heavy with it. Gliding through warrior 3. For stepping back and landing in warrior 1, hands to prayer at ceiling. You can keep them in prayer or open them out wide. Think about the connection of the back foot, the outer edge, the heel with the mat, creating space through the front body. Straightening through the front leg, either holding opposite elbows or bringing the hands to reverse the prayer. You may want to step the back foot forward ever so slightly, setting up for pyramid. Inhale, lifting up, exhaling, tipping forward. Inhaling, we'll do some cat-cowsy, so arching the back, lifting up, exhaling, tipping forward. One more. Before letting the head be heavy, think about your right hip drawing back and up, pressing the feet into the mat. Releasing the hands to frame the front foot, pivoting onto the ball of the back foot, heel is lifted, just opening through the back of the front leg. And from here, softening through the knee, lifting, sweeping the leg up, coming into standing splits, before bringing the left foot to meet the right in a forward fold. Inhale, sweeping, lifting up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, lower. Coming back through to Utkatasana. Same as before, drawing up through the thighs, inwardly rotating the little fingers to engage in the back body. Hands to prayer in heart space, grounding down through the left foot, this time hovering the right. Start to push the foot away so you're pushing something heavy, tipping, Gliding through warrior 3, which we don't hold, before stepping into warrior 1. Hands to prayer, the ceiling, lifting, reaching, grounding down through the back, outer edge, heel of the foot. Straightening through the front leg, either holding opposite elbows or taking reverse prayer. Inhale, lift up. Exhaling, tipping forward. Do some cat-cows, arching the back. Exhale, rounding through. Arching the back, rounding through. And then think about that left hip moving back and up. Releasing the hands to frame the front foot, pivoting onto the ball of the back. Opening through the front leg. Then tipping the weight forward, sweeping the right leg up, standing splits. Before bringing the right foot to meet the left in a forward fold. Pressing the feet into the mat. Inhaling, lifting, reaching up. To move straight back through that flow. Exhaling, forward fold. Halfway lift. And lower. Stepping or jumping back into plank. Chaturanga, knees chaturanga or full chaturanga, baby cobra or up dog. Lifting back up and through into downward facing dog. Inhale, we lift right leg. Stepping right foot between the hands, grounding down through the left heel. Cartwheeling open into warrior 2. Sweeping the left arm around to meet the right, firing that bow. Left arm sweeps around to meet the right, firing that bow and arrow. Left arm around to meet right, firing the arrow up towards the ceiling to reverse the warrior. Bending through the front knee, reaching, lifting. Straightening through the front leg, arms parallel, reaching forward, bringing right hand inside right leg, lifting up into Trikonasana. Think about your right hip tucking in. Trikonasana is an expansive pose, so really taking up space in it. Lovely, straightening through and then pivoting 10 toes, heels in, fingers out, toes out, and then now sweeping the arms up into star. Bringing the hands into prayer, drawing the prayer down to heart space as you bend into the knees, coming into goddess. Now in goddess, we're going to start moving the weight from one knee to the next. So you can move into the left, followed by the right, following your breath pattern and right. And start to deepen that, flexing the foot of the extended leg, coming into ninja squat. Maybe you put your hands on the mat for extra balance, or maybe you keep them in prayer at heart space. And then we will land on the front leg, the right leg, bringing the left hand inside the right, extending the right arm up, and then pivoting onto the outer edge of the back foot and dialing the front foot out 90 degrees. You may want to slide it down the mat. Coming into our Vashisthasana variation. From here, we can lower down through the hips, or you can stay here, lifting up, lower, and lift, lower, and lift. Beautiful work, bringing both hands to the top of the mat, turning all 10 toes forward, sweeping the right leg up and through. Option to go through a regular vinyasa, a 3-legged vinyasa, chaturanga, baby cobra, up dog, coming back through into downward facing dog. Inhale, we lift left leg. Stepping left foot between the hands, grounding down through the right heel, cartwheeling open, warrior 2. Sweeping the right arm around to meet the left, firing that bow and arrow. Right arm around meets left, firing that bow and arrow. One more. Firing up towards the ceiling to reverse the warrior. You know that front knee being bent At the expansiveness through the whole left side body. Breathing, reaching, lifting. Straightening through the front leg, arms parallel, reaching forward. Coming into Trikonasana. Tucking that left hip up, not collapsing through the body. Extending with both arms, reaching, lifting. Exhaling, coming back through to standing. Turning the feet towards the long edge of the mat, heels inwards, toes outwards. Sweeping the arms up into star. Bringing the hands to prayer. Bringing the prayer to heart space, sinking down into the knees. Think about being heavy through the sit bones, upright through the spine. And then from here, we'll start to bend into one knee, followed by the other, using your breath pattern. And you can deepen this as we move into Skandasana, ninja squat, flexing the foot of the extended leg. For landing on the left leg this time, bringing the right hand inside the left foot, pivoting all 10 toes to the front of the mat. Sweeping the left arm up, and then coming onto the outer edge of the back foot and dialing the front foot out 90 degrees. And you may need to slide it down. Back into our Vashisthasana variation. We will do some hip dips. We lower and lift, lower and lift, lower and lift. Beautiful work. Bringing the left hand back around, pointing all 10 toes to the top of the mat. Sweeping the left leg up and through. Option to go through a three-legged vinyasa, regular vinyasa. Rippling forward into plank, chaturanga, baby cobra or up dog. Lifting back up and through into downward facing dog. Inhaling for 2. Exhaling for 2. Inhaling for 1. Exhaling for 1. Softening the knees, gazing forward, either step or hop to the top of the mat. Halfway lift and lower. Inhale, sweeping, lifting up. Exhaling, hands to prayer at heart space. Returning to your breath. Returning to your intention. Now we're going to go through that flow again with a couple of variations as I include some balances into it. So you should have a bit of an idea, I hope, of where we're going. Inhale, sweeping, lifting up. Exhaling, forward fold. Halfway lift, lower, bending the knees, sinking down into the hips. We come back into Utkatasana. Hands in prayer at heart space, grounding down through right foot, hovering the left foot off the mat. Pushing it away as you're pushing something heavy, gliding through. We extend into warrior 3. Holding it for a few breaths. That dropping down through the left hip, engaging in back body, lifting up through the chest. Lowering down through the left foot, extending up. Warrior 1. Releasing arms, bringing them down, interlacing them at the base of the spine. This time, inhale, open up through the chest. Exhaling, tipping forward to humble the warrior. Think about drawing your right hip into the center line. Legs are strong, head is heavy, neck is long. It's releasing through the shoulders. Framing the front foot, turning onto the ball of the back foot. This time extending the left leg up and through into your standing splits. From here, you can give yourself a balance challenge by holding the supporting leg with one hand or maybe both. Bringing both hands onto the mat. Start to come up to standing, drawing the left knee up with you. Extending the arms up. And you can stay here or maybe extend the leg. And then bringing the hands to prayer, hooking the left foot on top of the right thigh, coming into standing pigeon. Now here, really work to your edge where you feel it in the left hip, the leg, hovering to where you need to be. Maybe the elbows go on the shin, maybe they don't. And always bring the hands to the floor. Or bricks or books. Lovely, coming back up through, releasing the leg and just taking a moment. Let the energy settle. Inhale, sweeping, lifting up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, lower, bending the knees, sinking down into the hips, coming back into Utkatasana. Grounding down through the left foot, hands in prayer at heart space as we glide the right foot back. So we're pushing something heavy with it. Foot is flexed, leg is active. Coming into warrior three. Think about lowering down through the right hip, engaging in the back body. Lovely, stepping back into warrior one. And then bringing the arms around behind, taking the unusual interlace this time. Lifting up, tipping forward to humble the warrior. Head is heavy, neck is long. Well, out of it. Releasing the hands to frame the front foot, coming onto the ball of the back foot. And from here, engaging in that back leg as we lift up into standing splits. And again, you can give yourself the balance challenge by holding the leg with either one or two hands. And then coming up to standing, bringing the right knee with you, extending the arms up towards the ceiling. And you can stay here with the knee bent or extend the leg, reaching forward, engaging, lifting. And then bring the hands to prayer at heart space, hooking the right ankle on top of the left thigh, sinking down into the hips. Noticing one side could be very different to the other. Maybe the hands can go on the floor. And slowly unfurling back to standing. Right foot on mat, hands in prayer at heart space. Taking a moment to connect your breath to your intention. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Lower, stepping or jumping back into plank, chaturanga, maybe cobra or up dog, lifting back up and through into downward facing dog. Inhale, we lift right leg, stepping right foot between the hands, grounding down through left heel, cartwheeling open into warrior two. Rotating the front palms up, reaching forward, lifting up to reverse the warrior. Straightening through the front leg, arms parallel, reaching forward, Trikonasana. Bringing left hand onto the hip. We're going to come into half moon here. So what works for me is thinking about this back leg being engaged from the glute right through to the heel, and then having a place to aim for. So a brick or a block can be very handy to bring the ground closer to you. So with that aim in mind, engaging in this leg, lifting, reaching, extending. So we're looking to have the hips stacked, the shoulders stacked, facing the long edge of the mat, not the ground. Maybe you extend the left arm up, or you've got the floor, or maybe you're hovering the right hand. Exploring the balance of the pose, embracing the wobbles. Beautiful work. And then squaring off the shoulders, turning the toes towards the top of the mat, stepping back with the left leg, Sweeping the right leg up and through. Option to go through a three-legged vinyasa, regular vinyasa, rippling forward to plank, chaturanga, maybe cobra or up dog. Lifting back up and through into downward facing dog. Inhale, we lift left leg. Stepping left foot between the hands, grounding down through right heel. Cartwheeling open, warrior two. Rotating the front palm up, reaching, lifting forward to reverse the warrior. Straightening through the front leg, arms parallel. Reaching forward with the left hand inside left leg. Coming into Trikonasana. Bringing the right hand onto the hip. And again, as we did before, we're coming into half moon. So think about, you can soften through the front leg, looking for that aim, engaging in the back leg. If there's ever a way to make this easy, and it is about the transition, more about the journey than the destination. So with all that in mind, start to tip, lean forward, noticing how one side can be very different to the other, embracing the wobbles. Well, today this side's very wobbly. Maybe you extend the right arm up, maybe you hover the left hand, breathing, reaching, expanding. Lovely. And then bringing both hands onto the mat, squaring off the hip. Stepping back with the right leg, sweeping the left leg up and through, three-legged dog. Here you can go through a three-legged vinyasa, regular vinyasa, ripping forward into plank, chaturanga, baby cobra or up dog. Lifting back up and through into downward facing dog. Inhaling, rippling forward into plank. And bending the knees, we come to our 4-point base. So from here, extending the right leg back, coming onto the ball of the toe, feeling that stretch through the calf, maybe the whole back of the leg. Keep standing the left foot out to the long edge of the mat, coming onto the inner edge of the right foot, and then extending the right arm up towards the ceiling. Light on the supporting arm. And on the inhale, lift up through the torso, sliding the right arm down the right leg, extending the left arm up. Sweeping back down through, just letting lightly the hand touch the mat. Back up and through. One more. Back up and through. So I'm leaving the arms parallel, extending them forward and then reaching forward. So you're coming into downward facing dog arms, but with your legs in this position. And then from here, you can soften through the elbows. And with your left hand, threading it underneath the right armpit, extending it along the mat. You may want to grab for your leg or your ankle. And here you want to just rest on the left shoulder, side of the face, extending the right arm forward. You have the option to sweep the right arm around behind you, taking a hold of the left hip crease. And beautiful. If you had the right arm around, bringing it back under the right shoulder and then gliding the left hand back under the left shoulder. Now here we're going to go for a little dance around the mat. So start to walk the hands around to the right leg. This is the extended leg. Foot is flexed as we then come into Ardha Hanuman. So you can stay here working through the opening of the back of the leg. Or you may choose to roll, and you can tease this out, rolling it back and forward. You may want to explore going into the full splits, or you can roll forward, bringing the right hand inside the right foot, coming into lizard. You can stay here or maybe come down onto the elbows. You can dial the front foot out to about 10 o'clock. Just do what your body needs. Go with what your body needs. Try both. And then land on one. Just think about the breath. Slow and deep. One more big deep breath. Exhaling. Walking the hands back up. And then from here, gliding the right foot back, coming to our 4-point base. So we're facing the back of the mat. From here, extending the left leg back, coming onto the ball of the toe. Think about where your hips are, that they're level. Think about the extension through the back of the leg. Then kickstand the right foot out to the right, come onto the inner edge of the left foot and extend the left arm up. Pressing the left foot into the mat. Inhaling, lifting, reaching up. Sliding the left hand down the left leg. Lovely. Then bringing the right hand back down, sweeping up. Left hand down, lifting up. Right hand down. Just gently touching the mat. Lifting back up, arms parallel, and then extending them forward, tipping forward, coming into that downward facing dog with the arms. And then from here, lowering onto the elbows. Down with the right hand, threading it underneath the left armpit. You can leave it on the mat or maybe hold the leg or the ankle. And really rest on the right side of the head, the shoulder. Left arm can be extended forward or sweeping it around, taking hold of the right hip crease. And then bringing the left hand back under the left shoulder, right arm back around and through. And then turning towards the top of your mat again, bringing the extended leg, the left leg. So we're all back at the front now. Coming into Ardha Hanuman. And again, we've got some options here. You can explore this. You can start to rock back and forth, bringing some movement into the hips. Maybe you want to explore coming into the splits. Splits can be all about the time of day you do them. Sometimes in the morning I can think of nothing worse. And at the end of the day, it's okay. And then if you want to come into lizard, bringing both hands inside the left foot, you can dial the foot out. And come down onto the elbows, let the head be heavy, the neck long. Breath is slow, breath is deep. Beautiful work, sort of walking the hands back up. And then from here, coming back onto we're going to stand up on the left sit bone. So you'll have the right shin in line with the short edge of your mat. And then the left shin in line with the long edge of your mat. I'm not mirroring you on this one. So you've got 90 legs. Inhale, lift the arms up. And then on the exhale, turning to the left. So the right hand is on the right foot. The left hand can be on the leg or behind your back. Pressing down into the hips, lifting up through the shoulders. Now you can stay here if you want to deepen it. You can explore bringing the right elbow into the sole of the right foot. Hands can be in prayer at heart space. Again, keeping the breath slow and deep. It's a very deep twist. Releasing, bringing the right hand to the base of the spine, extending up, lifting up through the hips, coming onto the right shin. Lovely, lowering back down through. And then swapping over now. You can do this challenge here. You don't use your hands, but swapping legs. Core engagement there. Sweeping the arms up and then rotating to the right. And you can stay here. And each side will be different, and each day will be different. And again, you can bring the elbow inside the foot, hands in prayer. Releasing, coming back through, left hand at base of spine, lifting up onto the left shin, opening up through the hips. Coming back down through. And then from here, you can extend the feet forward, slowly rolling down onto your back and bringing, so the left foot is on the mat, knees bent, bringing the right ankle on top of the left thigh and pressing the with the right hand pressing into that fleshy muscle part of the leg, as though you're pushing your leg or your hip, your thigh bone up and back, creating space through the hip crease there. And stay here. Or you can bring the left knee towards the chest and thread the needle. You can stay here. Or we can explore a lotus prep, which is extending the left leg. And then with your hands guiding the right foot down towards the hip crease. Being mindful of your knee, your ankle, not forcing anything, just guiding it, going to where it goes for you and knowing you can go back. These are just all variations. And then you bend the left knee, bringing the left foot towards the right knee. Just seeing where it gets. Breathing into that. And from here, you can always have a play. This is purely play. You can stay where you are, of rocking up to seated. And you think, oh my God, I can't do this. But actually, and then you just tuck the foot in, or if it wasn't tucked in already, depends, I can do it on one side and not the other. You're a lotus. That's quite I think it's quite a nice way to get into the pose rather than sitting here trying to wrap your legs into knots. And you can place your hands on top of your thighs. You take a mudra. Notice the breath for a moment. Lovely. And then you can roll back down through. Right foot on the mat, knees bent, left ankle on top of right thigh. With the left hand, press into that muscle part of the left leg, pushing it up and back. Create space through the hip flexor. Then you can draw the right knee towards the chest, coming to thread the needle. And you can stay here if this is feeling good. Or if you want to have another explore of lotus prep, you can extend the right leg. With the hands, draw the left foot down. Again, respecting each side will be different and going to where you need to, where your body feels it, not forcing it with your hand. Not you spend so much time reaching, grabbing, pulling, forcing. Just let it be. And then bringing the right foot towards the left knee. And then you can have another play with rocking up. Ooh, seated in lotus again. And again, just breathing into that. Hands can be on top of thighs, noticing how one side is very accessible to the other, or both sides are great. Just breathing into that. And when you're ready, unraveling the legs, slowly rolling down. You come into a happy baby by holding the outer edges of the feet. Or you can come into, it's all about choice today, isn't it? Coming into plow. Bringing the feet over the head, hands on the hips. And if your feet are comfortably over the head, you can release the hands. Work to what your body needs. And you can release the feet, or if you're in plow, roll down vertebra by vertebra. Extend the legs long on the mat, feet are out wide, legs are heavy. Palms are out wide, facing up. Slide the shoulders down the back, neck is long on the mat. Closing down the eyes, lightly turning up the corners of the mouth. Softening through the brow. Let's notice the connection of your body with the ground. Notice how your body feels from the start of practice to the end of practice. And notice your breath. Where do you feel it when you breathe? Maybe you notice it now where you didn't at the start of practice. Maybe you feel it in a different place. You're more than welcome to stay, but when you're ready to return to the body with breath. Deepening the inhalations, the exhalations. Placing both hands on the belly, heels of the hands on the bony parts of the hips. Then rolling onto your favourite side. Drawing your knees up to your chest, using your arm as a pillow. The eyes closed or the gaze lowered, coming to a comfortable seated position with your hands in prayer at heart space. Returning to your intention. Taking that intention to your third eye for clarity, throat for truth and love, and your heart for compassion, especially towards yourself. And thanking yourself for sharing your energy and giving yourself this time. Namaste.